I'm back, and this is why you need an induction cooktop. Okay, so let's just get straight into it. So the first point is obviously the look, because we're usually comparing an induction versus a gas, and an induction hob is flat. It's usually one large piece of glass, whereas a gas hob has, again, a large piece of glass, but then lots of pan stands that are usually kind of cast iron and quite big and chunky. So an induction hob is nice and sleek and flat and therefore easier to clean. So keeping on the cleaning aspect, the induction cooktop actually cools down a lot faster than the pan stands on a gas hob. So if you were kind of cooking and then waiting for the hob to cool down so as you could clean it, you'd be able to do that whole process a lot faster with an induction hob, as well as not having to clean the pan stands, which is probably the worst part of having to clean your cooktop. So if you were going to go with an induction hob, having an induction on your island still makes your island look very nice and clear and kind of free of any mess and clutter. Whereas if you were going to go with a gas hob on your island, it just doesn't give that same kind of open, clean look to the room. So induction hobs are not anything new at this point. So there's actually lots of options in terms of all the different types of induction hobs you can get. So you can get some very small ones that are only 30 centimeters wide, and a large one, a venting hob. You can even get induction range cookers as well. So I really like the Fisher & Paykel and the Smeg induction range hobs, because let's be honest, if you're gonna go for a range, it's all about the look. So if you want to have induction, but then you're also thinking that you like the look of a range, now you can combine those two and you get the best of both. So it's the easy cleaning of an induction, but then the nice big oven underneath a range, because that's what I like about a range cooker. You can get a really nice big kind of like 90 centimeter wide oven underneath. So yeah, that's still a great option. Also, if you do wok cooking, you can also get an induction wok. It just shows how versatile induction cooktops are these days. So whatever type of cooking you're doing, even if you were grilling, so you can even get induction griddle pans now. So there's all the options out there. So you don't have to kind of sacrifice on the type of cooking that you do if you went with an induction cooktop. The next point, which is I think a very big deciding factor on going for an induction hob over, say, a gas or like a ceramic or an electric hob, is all the built-in features that you get within an induction hob. So there's lots of safety features like a child lock, the stop and go. You can even get timers on your induction hob. This next point will affect the efficiency of your cooking and the quality of your cooking. So I think this is going to make the biggest difference. So a lot of people actually think that gas could heat up your food a lot faster than an induction. But I think it's because most people are comparing gas to an old kind of electric hob, whereas if you compare a pot of cold water that you're trying to bring up to boiling temperature on an induction versus a gas, the induction will actually get to a boiling point faster than the gas, and that really shocks a lot of my clients when I tell them that. So if you're thinking of having gas because you think it's more efficient and heats your food up faster, then just get that out of your mind right now. And how can an induction hob make your food or make your cooking more efficient? Well, an induction hob actually has a lot of built-in features such as flex zones. So that's when you can combine two cooking zones to have even cooking. Say you had 4 very small kind of ramekin dishes that you wanted to kind of keep warm. If you used a flex zone, you could keep lots of those warm at the same time. You can also have a built-in timer. So say the packet of pasta says you need to boil the pasta for 8 minutes. You can set the timer and don't have to worry about kind of setting a timer on your phone or elsewhere. The next built-in feature is one of my favorites, if not my favorite one, and that is the frying sensor. So a frying sensor helps keep the cooktop at a consistent, even temperature. So it means that your food doesn't get too hot and burn, and it also helps to kind of regulate the heat. Another feature that I really like that is built in is kind of the pause option. So say you've got 3 different pans on the hob, they're all on different temperatures, and then somebody's ringing the doorbell and you have to leave your cooking to go and answer the door, you can quickly pause the hob so everything turns off, and then when you come back to unpause, all of the different temperatures will resume, so you don't have to think about what temperature was the fish on, which temperature was the pasta on. Everything will just be kind of stored there for you. So it's kind of a safety feature, and it just makes things a lot faster as well. And then there's also child lock, power boost, keep warm function. So these are all extra features that are built into the cooktop that just make your cooking a lot either faster or more efficient. So if you like the points that I've made so far in this video, please give this video a like. It just lets me know that you guys are enjoying this type of content, and I'll keep making more videos like this for you. Okay, back to the video. So with an induction hob or an induction cooktop, you actually get a lot more even cooking. So when you're using a gas hob, usually outer part of the pan gets hotter than the middle of the pan. Whereas with an induction, as long as you have a flat bottomed pan that's kind of magnetic across the whole bottom of the pan, you get even cooking across the whole surface area of the pan. Okay, so I think I've mentioned quite a few points so far that would sway a lot of people away from a gas hob towards an induction. But if you're still kind of on the edge and you really like the features of an induction hob, but you're not quite ready to let go of the gas, you can get a dual cooktop. It's usually one big gas wok burner and then 4 induction rings that have some flex options. So I would say if you're on the edge and you're not sure, then go for a dual cooktop so you have both. And I think you'll probably end up using the induction a lot more than you think, and then maybe in the future you could go all induction if you realize you don't actually need the gas anymore. So there is that option. Smeg do a really nice dual cooktop. So definitely look into that one if you like that option. So another reason that people may not want to move over to an induction is because they think that they're gonna have to get rid of all of their old pans and buy a whole load of new pans. And to be honest, it's sometimes the case depending on how old your pans are, but induction hobs have been around for a long time, and most manufacturers now are creating pans that are both induction friendly and gas friendly. So they usually work on both. And if you're not sure if your pans would work on an induction hob, most people have a magnet on their fridge. So just get the magnet, see if it sticks to the bottom of your pan. If it does, then it will work with an induction hob. Some induction hobs even have a tester built into the hob, so you can put your pan onto the hob and it will let you know if it will work, if it's induction friendly. Also, another thing that my clients are usually quite surprised about is the fact that there's even companies like Le Creuset who do induction friendly cookware. So if you like that kind of Dutch oven style cooking, you don't have to give that up just because you have an induction hob. There's also the option of buying converters or things you put on the bottom of the pan. I'm not a huge fan of those just because it kind of affects the even cooking that you'd get from an induction if the whole pan is kind of sitting on the cooktop. But if you wanted to keep some of your really old pans, because some people say that the old pan gives the food more flavor, then you can buy kind of converters that you stick on the bottom of the pan which will then make your old pans compatible with your new induction hob. I was trying to think of some disadvantages of an induction hob, so as you guys could kind of weigh up the pros and the cons. The main one I would say is that induction hobs do have a bit of a learning curve. So with a gas hob, the heat is more visual, as you can see the flame, whereas with an induction hob, it's just a number, usually 1 to 10, and that kind of understanding of what is 5 out of 10 in terms of heat, what's a 10 out of 10, it does take a bit of learning. So there is a bit of a learning curve there, but I think once you get used to using it, the numbers will start to make a lot more sense. So I would say that's a con, kind of figuring out the temperatures and kind of what temperature you need to put the hob at to, say, grill some chicken versus frying an egg or grilling a steak, because all of those require different temperatures. I will say again, back to the frying sensor, the frying sensor does help a lot. Okay, so I tried to cover a wide range of benefits of the induction hob in this video. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments, and I definitely suggest to watch this video next, and this is on one of my favorite sinks. So if you want a large sink that's very versatile, that kind of suits all different types of family sizes, definitely give this one a watch next. I think you'll really enjoy it. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.